Newcastle are genuinely becoming world class, and you just haven't noticed. So using their impressive win versus Spurs a couple of weeks ago, I'm going to be showing you why Newcastle might just be competing for 4th this season. Newcastle have only lost 1 game this season and have 24 points after 13 games. If we compare that to last season, they were dead bottom, no wins, and 6 points. And Gary Neville was telling you Steve Bruce was doing his best.
If this was any other industry, it would be classed as employment abuse.
This incredible improvement that even the most loyal of Geordie supporters couldn't have predicted might just lead to the plan to get Newcastle to the promised land to be executed in record time. See, Eddie Howe has created a team full of no-nonsense centre-backs, genuinely world-class players, and underdogs that have been previously written off by other managers, and they're coming together to finally fight for the badge. It's a combination of desire and quality coaching that is driving this Newcastle side up the league table. Newcastle are currently winning the ball in the final third more than any other team in the league this season, and it's simply down to an aggressive yet very organised press. In the 26th minute of the game versus Spurs, Tottenham passed the ball on the edge of their own 18 11 times before the press became too much. They had to play it long and they conceded a throw-in. Finally, Newcastle United are playing as a unit. The defensive line is high, the gaps between the midfield are correct, and the press, most importantly, is calculated. This might seem like a small example, but if we compare this to a screenshot of Newcastle versus Leeds before the takeover, it's a miracle. But who exactly is in the centre of this team? The engine, the Rolls Royce of the midfield. It's Bruno Guimares. However you say his name, he is the definition of a press-proof midfielder. A wonderful player with 11.97 passes under pressure per 90, 6.28 progressive carries per 90, and if that wasn't enough, 7.35 successful pressures per 90. You will like my stats, and you will thank me for them. Yes, Newcastle United might have had to have forked just under 40 million for the Brazilian, along with another 200 million for a whole host of talent, but it's not the money that's causing this improvement. Many clubs, specifically promoted teams, have spunked hundreds of millions up the wall to try and improve their squad, and it just leads to a bunch of misfits that don't know how to play together, and then back down the league system they go. Instead, the Magpies have done it differently. Nick Pope found himself on the run of a lifetime between 2019 and 2020 in Sean Dyche's Burnley side, getting himself 15 clean sheets one season, coming second in the Golden Glove race, only to the sexiest man alive, and then getting 11 clean sheets the season after. But as his team found themselves relegated to the Championship, the Toonami took Pope refuge in Newcastle, where he already has 6 clean sheets to his name this season. A truly remarkable goalkeeper that sets the standards for the team in front of him. Speaking of, Sven Botman has been gaining immense interest from every top 6 club in the Premier League for a few years now, but like most 25-year-old men with a pocket full of condoms and a weird kink for daytime television, the Dutchman found himself on the Geordie shore. The intelligent and dominant centre-back has slotted in perfectly next to the rejuvenated Fabian Schär or Dan Burn. He's a ball-playing centre-back with a speciality in 40-yard switches to the fullback to start attacks, which weirdly brings me on to, before joining Newcastle United at the end of 2021, it was reported that Eddie Howe had been learning from Diego Simeone. I'm sure good old Diego was perfectly fine with letting little old Eddie Howe run around his training ground, but probably a little less happy when little old Eddie Howe stole his fucking right back. Keiran Trippier is undoubtedly the best fullback England have going into the World Cup, and it's the Magpies that are benefiting from his talent. He's a dead ball specialist that has been making goalkeepers shit themselves for over a year now every time the ball is placed anywhere outside that 18-yard box. Trippier is a wonderful fullback that is just another addition to the Premier League's stingiest back line. I could go on to list everyone else that Newcastle have added to their books over the past year, but after naming 3 incredible additions to the back line, one sexy Brazilian, not as sexy as this man though, I think it's safe to say that Newcastle know how to recruit, and they do it very well. Apart from Chris Wood. I'm so sorry, Chris Wood. So with a combination of progressive tactics, internationally inspired coaching, and very carefully chosen recruitment, no matter what you think of the newest Premier League club to have an endless cash supply, you better take notice. Newcastle will become world class one day, and it might just happen a lot sooner than you think.